Hello, everybody, and welcome back again to All Things Parks. Today we are going to be discussing Future World East.
Dun, dun, dun.
So now, as we alluded to in Future World West, that big pie in the sky,
Yes.
the Epcot ball, Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball, however you want to call it. Spaceship Earth, it's been in the news a little bit lately. We lost the sponsorship from Siemens, so not really sure if it's going to be changing the parade a little bit in there.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I mean, it's a nice little
do.
slow moving, air conditioned.
Yeah.
Learning about communication from primeval and making it all the way to the future. So it's good stuff.
I enjoy it.
It's informative, without a doubt. And Judi Dench, she brings it on that new version.
Yeah, and also I really like when you go backwards down and look at the stars. It gives a really nice backstretch that you don't find anywhere else.
I don't know if I realized that,
Yeah.
but I'll take your word for it. If it works for you,
It does.
That's all
it's
that
similar
matters.
to the one on Haunted Mansion when you go backwards.
It is. It is very similar.
It just gets a nice stretch.
Yeah, you get to learn about your ABCs and who we got them from. So you can thank the Phoenicians for that. So thank you, Phoenicians. And that's not the people from Phoenix. Those are a little bit different of Phoenicians.
Yes, a little bit.
Just a tad. But yeah, really cool. Walks you through, the early days of Rome, early days of the paintings on the wall,
Right.
and then how paper was then invented, so we could take those drawings with us. And so, good stuff.
Yeah,
Good
I like
stuff.
with all the telephones come in.
Yeah, where you with the signals,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
switches.
Yeah, switches, sure. And so, once we get off of Spaceship Earth, there is the next thing that we're going to come across, I guess, is an eatery, which this eatery, if you're going to eat here, you're missing out big time.
It's just a poor decision.
Yeah, I don't even really know why this eatery is here, to tell you the truth. I mean, I get it, because some people need to have their typical hamburgers and chicken sandwiches when they go to the park.
Yeah.
But
also, it's the only eatery on this side, so I feel like they needed just a food place.
yeah,
But I feel like it could be revamped a little.
take a few steps over to West and go to Sunshine Seasons.
I mean, I'm not telling people to eat here. I'm just trying to
Don't
explain.
eat here. It ain't worth it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's called the Electric Umbrella.
It's
We've
electric.
not even said that yet, but it's not good.
But we've eaten here.
We have, but that was before.
That was before. That was
Now-
before we knew.
Now we're trained.
That's right.
And-
That was early on.
Yeah, early on in the game, and now it's all about the World Showcase or over at the land if you're eating at Epcot.
Without a doubt. Don't waste your fun coupons at the Electric Umbrella.
Mm-mm.
Trust us. You don't want to do it. And for those people that need a burger, shame on you.
Or go to America.
They don't have burgers. Oh,
Yeah,
I
they
guess
do.
they do inside there. But
They
still,
do.
don't do it. There's so many other options.
Oh, there's so many other options. Just go to the other options. But we'll get to those.
Yeah,
We'll get to those.
we will.
And
Stay
then
tuned.
by the time you're done hearing about those, you'll be like, ha, who's going to the Electric Umbrella?
You'd be like, what's a hamburger? But, so our first attraction, or actually, I guess our second attraction, since Spaceship Earth was an attraction. So our next attraction, which you'll be coming across after you leave Electric Umbrella, and, or actually, we got Interventions. Yeah.
Interventions is right there.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
Jumping the
because, again, I mean, I feel like lately Interventions just has been, it's been losing its identity a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be sweet.
Yeah, with
The Summer Ball Thrills, and you got to create your own roller coaster
Yes.
and then hop into a virtual reality machine and ride your ride. And now
I wonder if they'll bring some of that back now that Disney Quest is closed, because I feel like maybe that's why they took that away for a while, because they were like, go pay to do this at Disney Quest. And so maybe slowly they'll reincorporate some of those things.
I would just like something brand new, personally.
Well,
but
just trying to, be a little optimistic here,
yeah.
because that would be better.
Well, I
than
heard
what's
that
there.
they were selling off some of the games that were in Disney Quest, so I don't really know. But
Yeah.
well, only time will tell.
Only
But what's
time
in there right now? Some color swatches.
Some color swaps by Glidden. So you can basically just make colors.
Yeah. Which is great.
Which is like, okay, I'm sorry, but if you're going to lose sponsorship from someone, I will lose sponsorship over gliding before a Siemens production.
Well, it takes two to tango is the issue. So
I ain't tangoing with gliding, I'll tell you that much.
People gotta meet both ways. Well, I mean, it could be worse, I guess. I'm not really sure how, but I guess it could be worse. But yeah, so you got like different things for children in there as far as they get to paint and color, which I guess, you know,
to each their own.
If you're spending $120 on a park ticket, painting is what you want to be doing. But that's just my preference.
Low
you know, you need something to do for the kids. So all right, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Kids need something to do at Epcot. Sometimes,
my kids won't be doing
sometimes the countries just don't do it at the World Showcase, even though there are fun things.
So many fun things. Again, we'll get to, and then you'll be like, gliding, why would I go to color phobia?
Right, then they're like, innovations. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. But, all right, so next attraction then is
Universe of Energy with Ellen.
It is. Ellen DeGeneres, my girl.
Ellen's all over Future World because she's over at the Seas as well.
She is.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, Ellen's everywhere to be found, which I'm fine with. I love Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
She's
totally
awesome.
Good with that.
But her ride is atrocious.
And I can't believe something with Bill Nye could be so bad.
Well, if you saw his new Netflix show, you would have two things that were pretty poor with Bill Nye. But, yeah, this is a tour of... It's kind of like Spaceship Earth, but instead of communication, it's now energy. And instead of enjoying, enjoyful 20 minutes, it's a slow-paced, which Spaceship Earth is slow-paced too, but we're at a crawl here, and it's 45 minutes of rough housing.
I was, during my CP program, I was like, I've never done this before. I think it's time I do this. And I was like, I could have done so many other things with that past hour of my life.
But again, this is an attraction that people love. Like, it's a classic attraction. Mm-hmm. You're going to start in the prehistoric area where you're going through how fossil fuels were first formed and how that turned into energy. And then you go out into, like, space and fusion as far as what energy is in the future. Yeah.
We love fusion.
We do. But it's just, they could make it a little bit more condensed and still get all the same information across. But a lot of people are like, well, I got to sit inside the air conditioning for 45 minutes. And it's like, well... You could go inside
Mexico, get a margarita, and sit there for 45 minutes.
Or you could even sit and paint at interventions for 45 minutes if you wanted to. And then at least you can get up and move around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like here, you're in that slow moving time machine for
quite
45 minutes or so.
But it feels like years.
It does. Well, I mean, you're going through years upon years of Mother Earth.
That was the joke.
Dang. Whoopsie. All right.
Anyways, moving on.
So let's go from Earth.
Ooh, okay.
To space.
Well, we're skipping something that I cherish.
We'll come back.
We'll pedal on back.
That was my transition.
Yeah. Well, you ruined my joke, so I ruined your,
Well, it wasn't really a joke, but whatever I had going for me was ruined.
You're welcome.
So now we're one for one. All right, so Mission Space, 2 different ways to ride. Although right now it's on a refurb. So
it might be in rehab.
It might be. But I've heard that, Gary Sinise is probably...
Yeah.
He needs some rehab. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Gary. I'm a guy. But, so Gary Sinise takes you on a tour. Mm-hmm. Not really a tour, a flight to Mars. And
it's a straight-on flight to Mars. Mars.
And so there's a few different things that you can be doing on here. So you can either have the more intense orange side.
Go orange!
Which, then you have the centripetal force and you're sitting in a huge centrifuge. And so you feel a lot of G's on your body, and a lot of people don't like that. There's barf bags in there for everybody if you do need it.
Just in case.
It is a little claustrophobic. Mm-hmm. That screen sits right in front of your face there. But then the green side is for the less intense. So if you don't want to feel the spinning, those G's, you don't feel the spinning, but you feel the G's inside. And then The screen still is tight, but it's definitely a lot less intense.
Yes, it's definitely a lot less intense. In the orange side, sometimes it's a little difficult to breathe, like no joke. But it's such an awesome experience. And I remember when this was first opening, and I was like obsessed with Disney Channel, and there was always these clips like what's going on in Disney. And there was real astronauts that rode this ride, and they were like, it's unbelievable how realistic. Like, it's not the real thing, but it's the closest real thing that they've ever experienced.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want from a simulator.
That's what you want, right.
But yeah, I would advise not going to the World Showcase before this, and you don't want to have any drinks in you when you go on this ride.
Or food. So don't put Electric Umbrella on your way.
Yeah.
Just another reason to skip it.
Just don't stop in there, please, for everyone's sake. But so there's 4 different roles that you can assume during your flight to Mars, and so it is pilot, commander, engineer, and oh no, what's the other one? I can't think of it, but it's not that important because what you do is just press a button, and it doesn't really matter if you press it or not. Which would be cool is if it did matter.
Yeah, and it changed the whole the whole thing going down.
Like, you should have to work together as a team and make sure, the better you press the buttons and the more precise you're pressing the buttons, the more successful your mission is.
And also, like, maybe more. Like, you only push one button, so it's like, Commander!
2. You get 2 each.
Commander! Push button now! And then it's really fun, basically.
Activate hypersleep.
It's so much fun. Oh my gosh. This is something you cannot skip.
Yeah, it's a must-do for sure, especially if you haven't been on it before. If you've been on it before, it's hit or miss. And usually the line's pretty short because, again, the rideability isn't that huge. Like, once you've done it once, it's like, all right, well, I've done it. But that's one of the things that I've heard there's supposed to be changes, is possibly having different missions or different endings to the mission, so kind of like your Star Tours type environment where it's going to be changing. Which would be
great. Yeah. That would be great. But it's very exciting, very thrilling. You don't know if you're going to make it. We're not going to make it. And I won't tell you if you do.
Move a muscle.
But you'll find out.
You will.
And maybe you'll make it to Mars. But when you do get back to Earth and exit this ride, you will go through their training laboratory. So if you want to be an astronaut, you can continue your training here. The little ones, there's a bunch of sort of like a playground where they can crawl through different holes and things. And then there's some electronic games where you could try and save 4 other astronauts on Mars. You got to get to them with your little jetpack.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of games.
Different games.
Lots of games.
A little souvenir shop right after it as well.
Always.
And then we can just double on back to what we skipped before.
We did skip it.
The Festival Center.
Which is a great pavilion to visit, especially during Food and Wine Festival.
Yes. If it's Food and Wine Festival, you need to stop here.
Check it out.
Great souvenir shop with all of your
festival favorites.
And then also they have their chocolate experience from bean to bar.
Ooh, that's a lot of beans.
And different Disney chefs from around property will submit their best chocolate sculpture. So I know one year was Ratatouille, on the cheese with grapes, everything molded out of chocolate. There's been the Up House with all the colorful balloons, some Star Wars ones, all different things. Jungle Book, I know, when that was released.
Yeah.
And so, you'll hear from where the chef is from. So it's really cool. Stop there, you'll get a free Ghirardelli chocolate and learn how chocolate's made. And then this is also where all the studios are. So all of those chefs visiting during this time, this is where they are preparing up good food, teaching you everything you need to know about food and wine. And the Chew goes every year because obviously they're on ABC and that's owned by Disney. So they are always there. And then they also have their wine shop, which looks good.
It does look good. They got a lot of selection over there. But yeah, so definitely, this is a seasonal pavilion, so it's not going to be open all the time, but if you're there for Food and Wine Festival, definitely go and check it out. And it's actually where you can pick up passports for going around the world and visiting all the kiosks, and there'll be a couple of spots there that you'll have to get stamped if you want to complete your book. So you can't skip it, actually, if you want to complete your passport.
Yes. And also, if you don't think you're going to drink around the world, that's okay. You still want to pick up this passport because it does have all the menu items, so everything that's in all the countries. Mm-hmm. There's at least like 30 countries, so you're going to want to know your options before, you're like, oh, I want this, but it's like, oh, I could have had all this.
Yeah, you got to know.
You got to know what's out there before you head into that world.
Yeah, don't go blind. That's how you trip and fall. You got to have somebody helping you along the way.
You got to.
But on to the next one. Mm-hmm. So once you leave that pavilion, if you happen to go for the fall festivities, the next attraction then is going to be Test Track, sponsored by Chevrolet. So we lost our GM sponsorship. We got Chevrolet, and then we went to the future with this thing.
We did.
So gone is the kind of dummy testing facility. And now we are into the futuristic mobiles as far as, okay, when you go in the line, which is fun because it is a lot more interactive as opposed to just watching some dummy tests. But so you get to kind of make your own vehicle. Mm-hmm.
I like to, before all of that, since it is more futuristic, they have all the electrical cars and things like that you can see as opposed to like a fancy car that was there before.
Yeah, a lot of the concept cars are going to be there for you to check out. So kind of like a mini auto show. Mm-hmm. And then after the ride, too, you're going to see a lot more of those. So different prototypes and concept cars that are, haven't made it to the market yet, but are in kind of engineering stages and things like that. So that is cool to see some of what's going on behind the scenes in the manufacturing vehicle industry. But with the ride, as far as getting back to kind of making your own car for it, so the car that you make is then going to be transmitted to your Magic Band. And so, there's different ways that you can design your car, whether it's going to be more energy efficient, more power efficient, speed, and then like air resistant or something like that. And so once you do make your car, you put your Magic Band down there and it'll store it on there. And then when you go to get into your car, before you sit in your seat, there'll be little sensors on in that queue waiting line. And so you just pop your band in there and then get to see how your car stacks up to everyone else that's sitting in your car.
Yeah, so good competition. I like this. Originally, they had this design still where you could design your own car. However, they only picked one person's to actually be the car, so it wasn't that competition. Mm-hmm. So I do like that they changed that, added that. I know last time I designed the most outrageous car. I was like, everyone's making fun of me. I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Because I was reading up to see what is going to yield you the best score. Mm-hmm. And it's like, choose the weirdest looking things. Like, it's not what you would think to choose. But if you are looking to cheat on that system, you can go on the internet and find out exactly how to rate your car. So you make sure you can perform at your highest peak. But awesome ride, nevertheless. Great ride. They kept the same track, but just kind of changed things around as far as what was being said and the dialogue different and things like that, and colors, and so it's all neon now. But when you get outside, and you kick up that speed, it
gets real.
It just feels good.
Feels great.
Like, that's probably my favorite 15 seconds at Epcot. If you just had to take a snapshot of the best 15 seconds of the day, that might be up there.
I don't know. Their margaritas are good.
But that's going to be longer than 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. You're like that initial 15 seconds put up against the Epcot or the Test Track 15. I don't know. I'll have to.
I'm that avocado margarita.
I'll have to go back and test it out. I'll bring my stopwatch. But so now that's pretty much it for attractions in Future World East. So it's pretty easy to get through it quickly, especially if you got a fast pass for Test Track, because Mission Space is going to be usually a walk-on.
Correct.
And so Test Track also does have a single rider line, which is nice.
Yes,
so
definitely take advantage of that.
Things. And so the car seats 6, so there's not a whole lot of times where you're going to get 6 people in a party. So there's a lot of opportunity for those single riders to get moving through.
Right.
But last pavilion then, and then we have a shop. So our last pavilion is what? Why don't you tell us about it?
The craft beers. So again, this is seasonal. This is when Food and Wine Festival is going on in the fall. And all local breweries from around the Orlando area come with their craft beers. And then they have really cool gift shop merchandise marked there for you with all their different like brews around the world shirts and the merchandise that's more geared towards beer as opposed to the wine.
Yeah.
Good stop. You want to stop there. If for nothing else, the merchandise if you're not going for the beer.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good spot to try a lot of the local brews too. So, like Erica said, a lot of craft beers, and it's a lot of craft beers from local breweries in the area of Orlando and Tampa. And so it's nice to try something other than, just what's around the countries, but you gotta get out around those countries.
You do.
But last thing in Future World East that we're going to talk about is Mouse Gears.
Oh my goodness.
The best store on property.
By far.
Yeah.
Like no competition.
It's just fallen. There's just stuff. They just threw up wonderful merchandise in this store. And,
best merchandise you'll ever find.
And you just can't beat it. I mean, I love the Epcot merchandise. So this is like one of the only places you can find the Epcot merchandise. Unless you go on the Shop Disney Parks app.
They do have some back by, what's that called in between France and UK?
The World Showcase, something. I can't remember what it's called.
But they do have some there as well. But this is where you're going to find all of your Epcot merchandise. So everything with all the Mickey head flags of all the countries, all of that's there. Oh my gosh, I'm getting too excited. They have all of the ear hats. They have all of the kitchen stuff. They have all of the snow globes. They have all of the kids stuff. They have, like, anything you could think of, they have. Yeah, but it's not overwhelming. It's, like, set up so nice.
Right, like World of Disney at Disney Springs has a lot of the same merchandise. They don't have all the Epcot stuff, but other than that, it's pretty much all the same merchandise, but the store is just way too big. And I'm just like, all right.
And there's a lot of rooms that I don't need,
walk in there.
You know? So this is really nice because basically I need all of the Epcot merchandise, so it's one-stop shop.
Right. It's a way to do it.
And then you have your kitchen stuff, the magnets. Everything you need is here. Food. Like the coconut patties. They have all that stuff.
I was like, food? Yeah, like the snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's the place to be.
I mean, yeah.
If you're looking to eat in Future World East, go to Mouse Gears.
And this is one of the places that if you spend $50 and you're using your Chase Visa, Disney Chase Visa, you're getting that percentage off. Plus, it's like, if you spend so much, we'll give you this for $5. And then it's like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah, but it's not $5. It's usually like $25 for a tote or something like that.
I don't know. It's not that
much. Or
a
backpack. But some of the stuff that they offer for that is really good.
Yeah.
And very useful. But that wraps up Future World East.
Sure does.
What's going to be coming next is 11 countries of fun. And so we're going to be dishing them out rapid fire and breaking down exactly what you're going to need to look at, what you're going to need to do, what you should eat, and what you should drink for sure. So stick around, stay tuned, and leave comments below. Like what you see. If you did like what you see, I guess leave those comments and go ahead and subscribe. And as always, make sure you're checking out our Instagram at All Things Parks. We are posting daily and really just bringing you everything we can from the parks and beyond. So again, thank you for stopping in. Do you have anything else to add?
I'm just going to say, I know you're probably getting hungry. Just hold on. Don't eat at the electric umbrella. We're so close to Mexico. Yeah. Just hold on.
Can smell the spices already.
Just hold on.
All right. See you later, everybody.